The pandemic has been, in a word, a disaster. From changing the way we interacted with others to having people shut out from the world in a flash. There isn't much to be happy about as the coronavirus wreaked havoc worldwide. However, while we have a lot to complain about, this was a great opportunity for several businesses to increase their revenue. Some companies were successful in the pandemic market with billions of dollars in profits, and here are a few of them. Zoom Communications. There's a high chance that you're one of the millions of people around the world who had to get used to seeing their colleagues through screens. One of the biggest effects of the pandemic is the fact that people were forced to spend more time at home during lockdowns. With this, companies had to come up with creative methods to keep their workforce productive, even without having to come into the office. And with this, video conferencing quickly became the new normal. The use of video conferencing apps for professionals has exploded, and one name in particular stands out in the business landscape from the rest. We're talking about Zoom. Founded in 2011 by Eric Yuan, this video conferencing startup was pretty much a regular company in the last decade. However, they spent all that time preparing themselves for the big moment, and this happened during the pandemic. Today, it's the go-to video conferencing app for individuals and top brands like Dropbox, Zendesk, Uber, Rakuten, Nasdaq, Logitech, Autodesk, and many more out there. This company went from having a little over 10 million daily active users in December of 2019 to over 300 million daily active users within a year. This is an insane amount of growth, and this company remains one of the biggest winners of the pandemic. Apart from Zoom, several other video conferencing apps enjoyed similar growth. Google Meet became free during the early stages of the pandemic, and even Skype had an increase in their average daily users. Microsoft. While the pandemic has been terrible for humanity, several big tech companies are having a field day at this awful time. Microsoft is one of the brands that thrived during the pandemic. For Microsoft Teams having more than double the increase in daily active users within a year, to the company itself announcing a 19% increase in revenue during the third quarter of 2021. The company is recording more than $15 billion in profits, and it's not difficult to figure out why. A lot of information workers have been relying more on the cloud and digital services offered by Microsoft, and this trend shows no signs of slowing down. Even their Azure business revenues increased by 50% in 2021 compared to 2020, as a company cashes out heavily. Instacart. For years, online grocery delivery service has been seen somewhat as a luxury, with people choosing to either have their products delivered to their doorstep or going over to the grocery store themselves. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic and the widespread panic that accompanied stepping out of the home to stand in long queues. And with this, Instacart had more order deliveries than they had ever had in a long time. People didn't really have a choice of whether to go out and shop in crowded grocery stores or order groceries from the safety and convenience of their homes. Understandably, a lot of people chose to order online, and this resulted in tremendous growth for the online grocery delivery service. In 2019, Instacart was merely a popular app slowly starting to gain some momentum in the grocery delivery industry. When the coronavirus came on the scene, things quickly changed into chaos, with striking shoppers, inventory shortages, and a brand witnessing an increase of more than double its valuation to $18 billion within 10 months. Within 5 weeks, Instacart saw 5 years' worth of growth, and the owner was thrown into the class of billionaires almost overnight. By January of 2021, revenue hit more than $1 billion, with the owner looking to replicate this even after the pandemic is over. Even e-commerce giants like Flipkart and Amazon took the opportunity to scale up the grocery delivery part of their businesses. Will online grocery shopping still be a trend even after it's considered safe to step into grocery stores? Well, it would take competitive prices, stress-free delivery processes, and enticing discounts to keep people shopping exclusively online rather than stepping out themselves. This doesn't change the fact that Instacart saw more growth than it could ever have imagined, and the coronavirus was making rounds globally. Amazon. During the height of the pandemic, people weren't just ordering groceries online. They ordered pretty much everything from the comfort of their homes. This only increased as stores were ordered to close while countries worked on controlling the spread of the coronavirus. However, the multinational e-commerce company Amazon rose to new heights thanks to the restrictions. Although they had pretty much controlling the customer goods market before the pandemic, they benefited more from the government's decision to close all of their retail options during the lockdown phase. More and more businesses were moving to online operations, and this increased the traffic on the Amazon site. Apart from this, people had to find activities and products to help combat boredom, so they bought pretty much everything from exercise equipment and games to books. Even online services like Zoom and Slack took advantage of Amazon Web Services, and that only increased their revenue. Demand went so high during the pandemic that Amazon was faced with the decision to hire about 100,000 more employees in the United States. Online entertainment channels. How did you get by daily when it seemed like time was slower than normal? Staying at home for hours had people struggling with boredom and trying to find creative ways to pass the time. We couldn't go out to concerts, bars, and theaters anymore, and these companies experienced losses as people were forced to stay inside all day. And that's where online entertainment channels began to gain huge popularity around the world. You're using one of them right now, YouTube. While everyone was stuck at home, YouTube experienced a massive spike in usage as people logged on to the YouTube University, as some people call it. It's easy to get lost in the web of the social media platform as there's lots of channels to check out, from online tutorials on specific subjects to comedy channels. Apart from getting on YouTube to watch videos, many people saw this free time as an opportunity to dabble in their dream of starting up a channel of their own. So more people opened YouTube pages, that the social media platform had to introduce caps on video quality due to the huge pressure on the platform. Even Netflix wasn't left out of the influx of new users. This movie streaming platform hit an all-time high during the pandemic lockdown with its traffic volume. Apart from tuning to YouTube to watch videos, people logged onto Netflix to pass the time with new series and movies in the entertainment space. Other online streaming services like Hulu, HBO, and Disney Plus also had a slice of this wonderful pie, as they took advantage of the increase in the free time of billions of people globally. It's not just limited to movie-related entertainment, but interactive forms of entertainment also came into the scene. You may remember the era of the TikTok craze, where it seemed like every single person in the world had an account on this video sharing platform. TikTok became more than a regular social media platform as people jumped in there to start up dancing challenges and even drop comedy content. This platform created megastars like Addison Rae, who became famous from being on TikTok. Let's also talk about the rise of video games as esports started to fill the void left behind by the suspension of regular sporting activities. Football fans worldwide weren't happy to be without their favorite sports for a while, and this encouraged millions of gamers to log in massive in-game hours. It wasn't uncommon to have people spend all day playing video games, which was one of the many reasons why Animal Crossing from Nintendo became a mega hit. During the social isolation phase, online gamers also fell in love with the new Call of Duty game, as they played for hours on end. Now you know all about the companies that survived the pandemic, and that's a wrap. Do you think the popularity of these companies will drop after the pandemic is over? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? Well, we're always posting amazing content like this, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching.